Okay, so our final speaker of the evening is Teal. Is the owner of Thrive, Mind, Body, and Soul. She is a spiritual growth catalyst, homeopath, and earning her certification in the Tony Robbins Strategic Intervention Life Coach Program. She is an initiate of the Modern Mystery School in Toronto and has won awards in fitness competitions and public speaking via Toastmasters. Tara has a passion to help others and wants to be able to offer and give back what she has learned. Tonight, she'll be speaking on lasting change and happiness. Please welcome Teal.
Thanks. So I'm both really excited to be able to come up here and talk to all of you, but I'm also extremely nervous. I'm excited because I get to teach everybody something that I've learned and be able to give back. But what I really feel like is this. Completely in my underwear on here. I was going to put them on, but it's being recorded, so I'm going to. So a couple years ago, the cold bathroom floor was where I found comfort. I was bawling my eyes out. I was laying there. I was in a place of loss. I was in a place of loss because I've lost my job, I've lost my house, I lost my marriage, and eventually I lost my kids. In that moment, I didn't know if I really felt on going on living. I felt like life circumstances have gotten the better of me, and that's what was controlling everything. I also remember the moment when my life changed, when I finally said, I've had it, I've had enough, that I wanted something better, that I wanted to live the life that I wanted to live. I decided that I wasn't going to settle for less than I could be. I decided that I was going to fill my life with self-love, filling my needs in a positive way, filling up my teacup so that I'd be able to give back. I started my journey of growth. Over the last couple of years, I'm not on that bathroom floor anymore. I'm now the owner of a business, Thrive, Mind, Body, Soul. Got me, Michelle, isn't moving. I'm a homeopath that's running a successful business. I'm growing as I'm learning my life coach program. I've won fitness competitions, and I've also won competitions in Toastmasters. And now I'm able to contribute back. I'm able to give back and share with people what I've learned. My voice is like shaking. This journey hasn't been easy, to say the least. So the first step in getting that change from the bathroom floor to standing up here now talking in front of all of you was to create a plan. So as I do life coaching, one of the first steps that I do is to create a plan. So I'm not going to have you all do it because I'm on a limited time. So what I would normally do, though, is get you to envision what you want your life to be in 5 years. So in 5 years, what do you want your life? What do you want your life to look like? So just think about that for a minute. If we don't have a vision of where we want to go, we're never going to get there. We're going to remain stagnant. After you've developed that 5-year plan, you need to kind of break it down a little bit. So you take what you want to accomplish in 1 year to be able to get to that 5 years. So for instance, some people want a happy marriage. Some people want to have a successful business. Some people want a 6-figure income. And so in 1 year, if that's what your goal is in 5 years, in 1 year, what is it that you need to accomplish in order to get to that 5-year goal? So in 1 year, if you want a happy relationship, happy marriage in 5 years, in 1 year you probably should meet the person, that life partner of yours. You're not going to have that happy marriage. We're going to break it down again even further, because most people can overestimate what they can accomplish in 1 year. Sorry, I'm pacing. So we're going to break it down to 1 month. So in 1 month, what is that you need to start to do to accomplish that 1 year goal? So if in 5 years you want a happy marriage, in 1 year you want to meet that person of your dreams, so 1 month you better get your butt out there and you better start meeting people, or else that 5-year goal is never going to happen. So that is the first step in creating the life that you want. We need to have a plan. We need to know where you're going. The second step in that plan is to realize the challenges we might face. For most people, the biggest challenge is what we focus on. So if you have a certification that you want to get, And the thoughts that you tell yourself is, I don't have time, I'm not good enough, this is too hard. What do you think the chances are that you're going to get that certification? Probably not very good. Or if you want to meet somebody and you say, I'm too shy, I can't do this, I'm too fat, what do you think the chances of meeting that person is? Probably not very good. Would you guys agree? Yeah. So we need to stop having these limited beliefs and start getting you to believe that you can accomplish these goals. So for instance, if you continue to tell yourself, I'm not worthy enough, part of the thing that we would do together is to start, every time you have that thought come up, is to teach you to have a counter thought, so a positive thought. So if you have that thought come up in your brain, we want to try to reprogram your brain. So if you have that thought come up in your brain as, I'm not good enough, I'm going to get you to say to yourself 3 times every time you have that limiting belief, I am good enough, I am good enough, I am good enough. So we start reprogramming our brain. That popcorn looks really good. So how do we give up these thoughts? It'd be great if we could just give up these thoughts and not think them at all. You know, it's really hard. We come from our childhood and we're taught by parents, by teachers, by everybody else. Sometimes these thoughts are completely out of our awareness and we don't even realize that we think these thoughts, and they're not actually conscious thoughts. They come from the back of our subconscious because of what we've been told as children. It's actually not that hard. What we do is we trick you. I help and facilitate that, obviously, but having tricked your brain so that the consequences of the pain of having those thoughts are worse than actually having those thoughts or those limited beliefs. Sorry. I'd like to give you an example. I had a fellow coach have a client that had come in and she had been to the doctor and said that she had to lose 20 pounds. Well, the client had said to the coach that, I can't lose 20 pounds. I have an addiction to cookies. So her limited thought was that she was addicted to cookies. I can get that peanut butter. So the coach had said to her, well, if you continue to destroy your health, then we're going to make something good come out of this. So every time, you can have 1 cookie a day, that's fine, but every time you have more than 1 cookie, I want you to bake from scratch 2 dozen cookies and then take them to a women's shelter. So at least if you're destroying your health, something good will come out of it. She reluctantly agreed and decided that she'd work with the coach and do this plan. She went home, she couldn't help it. She was addicted. She had more than 1 cookie. So she baked 2 dozen cookies and took them down to the women's shelter. Day in and day out, she'd have more than 1 cookie and have to bake 2 dozen cookies and take them down to the women's shelter. She was committed into working with her coach and she was paying for it. This is something that she wanted, so she agreed to this. After a while, she developed relationships at the women's shelter. The women were very grateful and they enjoyed the cookies. The cookies became so popular that she decided to go down to the local market, as Michelle runs in Ridgeway, as among other places, and start selling these cookies. The cookies became so popular, she got her grandchildren to help her. So together, she developed a relationship, a closer, special bond with her grandchildren, and her and her grandchildren made these cookies. This woman becomes so nauseated from making these cookies, the smell of them in her house, she stopped eating cookies. She changed her limiting belief. So did she not only develop new relationships at the women's shelter, she was able to spend time with her grandchildren in a special way, she developed a successful business, and eventually broke her limiting belief. Now, our beliefs relate to our emotions, and our emotions are based on our physiology, our focus, and the meaning that we give to them. It sounds difficult, but it's actually quite simple. It's what we call life coaching a triad. I need someone to come up here for a second.
Okay.
We're just pretending, it's all acting.
Okay.
Do you feel as nervous as I do now?
I'm good.
Okay, so what I want you to do is to show us depression. I want you to stand in front of everybody and show us what it is to look like when you're depressed or when you're sad. Take a moment, compose yourself, and look sad. Look really, really depressed. So as you can see, his breathing's shallow, his head's down, his eyes are down. You can see the physiology in his body as he's curled up like this. So can you tell us just what you're thinking about as you were doing this? What your focus is?
I don't really know. I'm just kind of, well, actually,
You're supposed to be depressed.
oh yeah. Weird enough, I thought about like my dog passing away.
Your dog passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's still good, but like I thought that was
But
my
that
thought.
is your focus.
That was my thought.
So you're thinking about, you're giving meaning to the passing of your dog, your focus is on that, and your
Yeah.
physiology comes in. Now, can you show us joy? Something that makes you happy, ecstatic.
That's easy.
As you can see, he's got a big smile on his face, his chin is up, his body has opened up, his eyes are glowing. As you can see, the physiology has changed. Now, can you tell us what you're thinking about? It's not too bad.
About anything, really. Like life. I love life, so life is good.
So as you can see that we can change from depression to joy in pretty much an instant. It's what he's focusing on and the meaning that he's giving to it. So as he's thinking about the death, he curls in and his physiology comes in. And as he's thinking about joy, he comes out. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So we have been programmed by our culture to believe that our emotions are something outside of our control. That as, sorry, what was your name?
I'm Jack.
As Jeff had just shown us, that they're completely in our control. They're in our control by what we focus on, the meaning we give to them, and that controls our physiology. We create the rules that determine what emotions we experience and how frequently we experience them. So in any given day, no matter what you're focusing on, if you're upset, if you're depressed, you can change your focus like that. Think of something that makes you happy, your physiology would change, and the meaning of what you're focusing on will change. So, all human beings share the six basic human needs. These needs underlie all the choices we make in life, every single one, believe it or not. I'm going to write them. So these are our 6 human needs. So the first one is certainty. So certainty is we want to feel safe, we want to know we have a roof over our head, we want to avoid pain, we want to know that if we're sick we can go to the doctor. Every individual will have the need of certainty. It's the varying degrees of which each individual values them. So one person may feel certain living in a 1-bedroom apartment collecting unemployment, and another person may feel certain only if they have $1 million. So even though everybody will have that value, and we can accomplish them in different ways, they can vary from person to person. The second one is uncertainty or variety. So if we were certain about everything, it would be like, life would be boring, you know what's going to happen day in and day out. So the second one is uncertainty or variety. So we need uncertainty and variety in all of our psyche and our physical body and our emotions. We need that. We need uncertainty to feel alive. Without uncertainty, we don't feel alive. Life would feel dull. Just a sense of security is reassuring. So the excitement that comes from variety is necessary to feel alive. For some, variety may be satisfied by watching TV, watching the news. That will give us a certain variety. By others, it's traveling around the world. It is doing extreme sports. So again, the amount of uncertainty varies from person to person. Nobody's ever the same, and we always feel these needs differently. The third one is the third is loving connection. So everyone needs loving connection. Now, most people will go to connection before they go to love, because love's too difficult. But certainty we all get. If babies aren't held when they're born, if they don't get that loving connection, we've all probably heard of failure to thrive, they will die if they don't get that. The need for love continues throughout our lives. Most people think of love when they think of romantic relationships, but romantic relationships don't even exist in some cultures, so it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. You've heard of people that have tribes or family, and they get that loving connection through that way instead of romantic relationships. It can be replaced by the loves of relatives. Some people rarely experience love, but they have many ways of feeling connection with others in the community or in the workplace. The need to be loved is a characteristic of all human beings. We also have significance. So every person needs to feel important, needed, or wanted. Significance comes from comparing ourselves to others. In our quest for significance, we're always involved in questioning superiority or inferiority. We can feel significant because we've achieved something, we've built something, we've accomplished a goal. We also can feel significant by tearing something down, by tearing others down, by belittling somebody. We will feel significant. In a positive aspect, significance leads us to raise our standards. But if we're overly focused on significance, we start to lose that loving connection because we're so focused on ourselves that we don't reach out for the loving connection of other people. For some, significance comes from providing for a family. For others, from doing meaningful work, from giving back to the community, making charitable donations. The fifth need is growth. So if we don't grow, we die. If a plant doesn't grow, it dies. We need to constantly develop emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. We grow and we change physically from infancy to adulthood. We grow and change emotionally with every experience. And we grow intellectually as we respond to the events in the world around us. Anything you want to remain in your life must grow. Your money, your health, your relationships, happiness, love must be cultivated, developed, and expanded. Otherwise, it will degenerate. Some people satisfy the need to growth by working out physically. Some people do it by learning. Some people do it by reading books. Others need to study and learn constantly in order to feel they're truly growing. The last need is for contribution, to go beyond our own needs and to give back. All life is incomplete without the sense that one is making a contribution to others or to a cause. In the nature of human beings, we want to give back to leave a mark on the world. Giving to others may mean giving time to community service, planting trees, or giving to one's children. Not only can everyone contribute in some way, but contribution is essential and to get a sense of fulfillment and happiness. So if you find in your life that you're not contributing, you probably never find fulfillment. The first four needs, certainty, uncertainty, and variety, loving, connection, and significance, are all essential for human survival. They're the fundamental need of the personality. Everyone must feel that they've met those first four needs on some level. The last two needs, a growth and contribution, are of the spirit, and not everybody will find a way to satisfy them. It's why you find so many people unfulfilled in life. What we do to fill each of these needs, what we do in order to fill all these needs is called a vehicle. So we all have different vehicles of filling a need. So you can do it in a positive way. That's positive for yourself, positive for your family, positive for the community, or you can do it in a negative way. That's not good for anybody. So you can get certainty by controlling everybody. You can get variety by partying. You can get significance by tearing other people down. You can get connection by having a problem that makes people pay attention to you. So if you're depressed, you get the connection from other people because they're paying attention to you. You're getting that connection by getting that attention from other people, regardless if it's in a good way or a bad way. The only way you're going to be fulfilled is if you start fulfilling your needs in a positive way, so that it will cause you to grow and eventually give back. No matter how much you earn, how many people think you're great, if you don't feel like growing, you'll feel like you're going backwards. You'll feel like you're in stagnation. For those whose lives have true meaning, they're contributing beyond themselves. I've met so many people with great skills, yet they're still unhappy. What controls these needs are your beliefs. Again, back to this, your beliefs. There are certain beliefs that you may have not been serving your best interests, yet you keep doing them in order to meet some of your needs. So, like, take depression, for instance. You're getting variety, because you're going to be happy, and then you're depressed, and then you're happy, and then you're depressed. You're getting certainty, because you're certain you can do depression. Everybody knows I can do depression, I've done it before. You're getting connection, because you're getting people to pay attention to you, which also fills the need of significance. What you're not getting is growth and contribution. that's the vehicle that you're using to fulfill the first 4 needs. The second 2 you're not meeting. So you're not going to feel happy, and you're not going to feel like your life's fulfilled. Now it's time to grow. It's time to go beyond ourselves. So unless we understand what our brain is doing, most of us have no idea how to win at the game of life. We don't know what the target of the game is. That's your goals, your 5-year, your 1 year, your 1 month. And so it's pretty hard to win if you don't know where you're going. But now you do. And you can go home, plan it. You can chart a path to fulfill your needs, the first 4 needs, in order to gain personal growth and then eventually meet the 6th need of contribution. From the bathroom floor to where I am now, I made a plan, I set some goals, I decided what I wanted to focus on. I started to give up on those limiting beliefs and stop telling myself I wasn't good enough and that I was good enough and that I could do this. And I used positive vehicles such as working out, meditation, learning, in order to meet these needs instead of drinking and partying and crying on the bathroom floor. And it caused me to grow. And now I'm able to stand here and give back and share with you what I've learned. This is how I started to find my happiness and how lasting change happens. Because once you get in the spot where you're feeling good and you're growing, you don't want to go back to the bathroom floor. So I'd like to leave you guys with a quote by Zig Ziglar. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to be start to great. You have to start to be great. Thank you.